What if I told you there are 4 handguns you can buy right now, and the owners love them so much they hop online just to brag about them? I'm talking about pistols where you don't get the headaches, you don't get the regret, you don't get that "man, I should have bought something else" feeling. You get real shooters saying, "Yeah, I picked right." Today I'm counting them down from number 4 to number 1. These are the legends that have pushed through mud, sand, and decades of hard military service. Like it was just another Tuesday. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which one truly deserves your money and why one specific pistol on this list is considered by a lot of folks the closest thing to perfect ever engineered. Stick with me, because that top spot is a heavy hitter. It survived tests most guns would fail in the first 5 minutes. But first, let's talk about how I rank these. I didn't just stare at a spec sheet. I didn't just read a marketing brochure. I looked at decades of reliability history, real-world reports from high-volume shooters running tens of thousands of rounds, and what actual owners say in forums, on Reddit, and standing shoulder to shoulder on the range. These aren't display case pretty guns. These are the pistols people genuinely trust with their lives. Number 4, CZ75. Now listen, if you don't spend time around competition shooters, or you're not plugged into European police circles, you might not realize how deep the cult following goes on this one. But ask any CZ75 owner, and you'll hear the same theme over and over. It's the most comfortable, flat-shooting, reliable steel pistol I've ever owned. The CZ75 basically helped write the book on ergonomics. When you grab it, it feels like the designers actually held a human hand first, then built the frame around that. You've got a high beaver tail, a thinner grip profile, and it lets you ride your hand way up high relative to the bore axis. And that's not just comfort, that's control. Because it's all steel, it's got real weight, and that weight soaks up recoil like a sponge. But the real reason it's on this list is mechanical reliability. The CZ75 runs a design where the slide rails sit inside the frame, not outside like most pistols. That creates a tight fit and an action that feels unbelievably smooth. Owners constantly report running thousands of rounds with 0 failures to feed, 0 failures to eject, premium hollow points, or the cheapest, dirtiest steel-cased ammo you dug out of a bargain bin. The CZ75 just eats it. Another thing that pops out, versatility. Yeah, it started life as a service pistol, but it found a second home with competitive shooters. The kind of folks who demand near perfection. And if a gun can survive a full competition season of high-volume fire, without shaking apart, it can handle your weekend range time, and it can handle home defense. That all-steel frame isn't just for looks. It gives durability that most polymer pistols can only wish for. You feel that quality the second you rack the slide. And the funniest complaint you'll hear about a CZ75 isn't malfunctions. It's that once you buy one, you end up buying 2 or 3 more variants because you get hooked on how they feel. It's that buy once, cry once type of purchase. That'll probably outlive your grandkids. People say these guns have a soul, and yeah, that sounds dramatic. But it's hard to argue when you watch one still running strong after 30 years of use. Number 3, Beretta 92 FS. This was the official sidearm of the US military for decades. Just sit with that for a second. This was the go-to tool for soldiers in the hottest, sandiest, and most miserable environments on Earth. From the deserts of Iraq to the mountains of Afghanistan, the Beretta was there. If this pistol had a serious failure problem, we would have heard about it a long time ago. The Beretta 92 FS is famous for that open slide design. Look at the top of the gun. The barrel is almost totally exposed. That wasn't done to look cool. That's a functional advantage. Because with all that open space, there's almost nowhere for a spent casing to get trapped. And that helps prevent stovepipes, the kind of jam that makes other pistols choke at the worst time. This design screams one thing: reliability first. And owners love the 92 FS because it's a workhorse that somehow still feels like a piece of art. The action gets described like glass on glass, smooth, clean, almost effortless. In military testing, these guns were documented running tens of thousands of rounds without a single cleaning. Now, I'm not telling you to neglect your gear like that, but knowing your gun can survive that kind of abuse, that buys peace of mind. And beyond reliability, the Beretta 92 FS is simply fun to shoot. Yeah, the grip is big, no argument, but it gives you a stable platform for 9mm. And that alloy frame weight helps keep the muzzle flat, which is why it's one of the easiest full-size pistols to run accurately. It builds confidence. Even if you're not a fan of traditional double action, single action, you still have to respect the engineering. This platform has saved lives in the line of duty. Do people complain? Sure. Some folks think it's bulky for concealed carry. Some don't love where the safety sits. But when the question is, will it go bang when I press the trigger? The answer is a loud yes. It's accurate, it's tough, it's iconic, and it refuses to quit. And it belongs in every serious collection. If you're a firearm enthusiast who values reliability above all else, hit that subscribe button right now and join our growing community of marksmen, so you stay ahead of the latest gear reviews and expert guides. Now, back to the next gun. Number 2, SIG Sauer P226. If the Beretta is the military workhorse, the SIG P226 is the elite professional. This pistol was famously selected by the Navy SEALs after going through some of the harshest testing the Department of Defense ever cooked up. When the most elite special operations force on the planet picks a sidearm, people pay attention. In one legendary evaluation, the P226 got absolutely run into the dirt. Over 228,000 rounds were fired through it. It didn't just pass. It outperformed almost everything else. It was judged as the most reliable handgun tested. That's the kind of data that lets owners sleep easy, because you're not just buying a gun. You're buying specialized equipment built for the highest stakes imaginable. What makes people obsessed with the P226 is the build quality. Everything feels intentional. It's a full-size 9mm that handles like a dream, and the trigger, especially the newer versions with the short reset trigger, feels crisp, predictable, fast. It is heavier than your average plastic pistol, but that weight is your buddy. It keeps the muzzle down, so you can run fast, accurate follow-up shots. And the P226 isn't only reliable, it's accurate. The barrel-to-slide lockup is tight, and that translates into consistent groups, even when you start stretching distance. A lot of owners will tell you straight up, they shoot their SIG better than almost anything else in their safe. It's one of those guns that makes the shooter look good, whether you're on the range or you're in a high-pressure moment. The P226 feels like it's part of your arm. You'll see owners online saying they've had theirs for 20 years. They've fired tens of thousands of rounds, and they've never replaced a single part. That kind of reliability gets almost boring, because nothing ever goes wrong. It doesn't care if it's bone dry or dripping with oil. It just runs. Cheap practice ammo or high-performance self-defense loads. If you want a gun that feels like it was machined out of pure confidence, this is it, a legacy firearm with a reputation for near perfection. Number 1, Glock 19, the king of the zero complaints club. I know. It's not the flashiest pistol on the table. It doesn't have the classic lines of the Beretta. It doesn't have that refined feel of a SIG. Some people say it looks like a brick, but there's a reason the Glock 19 is one of the most popular handguns on earth. It doesn't quit. The Glock 19 is the gold standard for reliability. It has around 34 parts. That's it. And in engineering, fewer parts means fewer things that can break. It's a simple striker-fired system. That's been refined for decades. You can drop it in mud, leave it in a bucket of sand, freeze it into a block of ice, bake it in the sun, and it still fires. Owners obsess over the Glock 19 because it's the ultimate utility tool. Small enough for everyday carry, big enough to hold 15 rounds, and still comfortable for range work. It's the Honda Civic of the gun world. It's not a Ferrari, but it starts every morning, and it does its job with zero drama. The most common thing you'll hear from a Glock 19 owner is, "I've had it for 10 years, and I've never had a malfunction. Not one." When you're talking about a self-defense tool, that's the only stat that really matters. And if you do want to change things, the aftermarket is endless. You can swap basically every part to match your preferences. But most people find the stock version is already exactly what it needs to be. Simple, durable, and one of the few guns almost everyone agrees is worth the money. So those are the four pistols owners genuinely rave about, because they simply don't break. From the ergonomic CZ75 to the indestructible Glock 19, these are the picks that save you from the buyer's remorse of a finicky firearm. If you're shopping for your next purchase, any one of these is a safe bet. Don't miss a single shot. Subscribe to the Armory today so you never miss the essential tools and techniques you need to protect what matters most.